Have you ever stopped to think about what's actually keeping your feet planted on the ground? Or what makes a magnet stick to your fridge? Well, the answer is everywhere. It's in the pushes and the pulls that literally run our entire universe. Today, we're going to dive deep into the world of forces, the ones you can feel and the invisible ones that are just as real.
All right, so to get us started, here's a little riddle for you. Imagine you slide a book across a table, and it grinds to a stop. Now, picture that magnet just hanging out on your refrigerator door. I mean, they seem totally different, right? But what could they possibly have in common?
And the answer is forces. Yep, it might seem a little strange, but they are both completely controlled by forces. It's this amazing, invisible thread that connects pretty much everything that happens.
So, when we talked about a force, what are we really saying? Well, it's pretty simple. It's a push or a pull. But these pushes and pulls are incredibly powerful. A force can make something start moving, stop moving, change which way it's going, or even get squished into a different shape. It's basically the ultimate agent of change in the world.
But here's the thing, not all forces are created equal. We can actually sort them into two big categories, and it all comes down to how they interact with things.
Okay, so here are our two main groups. On one hand, you've got direct forces, or contact forces. These are the obvious ones. They have to physically touch something to work. And on the other hand, you have the really mysterious ones, indirect or non-contact forces. These guys can work their magic from a distance, right across empty space. Kind of spooky, right?
Let's go back to that sliding book. Why did it stop? Friction. That's a contact force. It's the resistance that happens when two surfaces rub against each other. Or, think about a game of tug of war. That feeling of the rope pulling on your hands, that's tension. Both of these absolutely require physical contact to do anything.
Now for the non-contact forces, the invisible ones. The big one is gravity. It's what keeps us stuck to the Earth, but it's also what holds entire galaxies together. And then there's magnetism, the force that makes that fridge magnet work. These are the real unseen movers and shakers of the universe.
All right, enough talk. It's one thing to hear about this stuff, but it's way cooler to actually see it in action. So let's start by investigating a contact force that you deal with every single day, whether you realize it or not.
You can actually do this right now. Find a book or, your phone, and slide it across a smooth wooden table. See how far it goes. Now try the exact same thing with the same amount of push, but on a carpet. Whoa, big difference, right? It slows down way faster. That extra drag, that resistance, that's friction in action. The rougher the surface, the stronger the friction.
So, feeling friction is pretty easy, but how on earth do we observe forces that we can't see or touch? Well, it turns out we can. Let's dig into some of these invisible powers.
Let's start with the heavyweight champion of forces, gravity. This is the force of attraction between any two objects that have mass. It's why planets orbit the sun, and, a little more personally, it's why you don't just float away from your chair right now.
Okay, you have to try this. It's a total mind bender. Grab a heavy object, like a book, and a much lighter object, like a small coin. Hold them at the same height and let them go at the exact same time. Now, your brain is probably screaming that the heavy book will hit the ground first, but watch what happens. They land at the same time. It's wild, and it proves something amazing. Gravity pulls on everything with the exact same acceleration, no matter how heavy it is.
Okay, let's look at another invisible wonder, magnetism. This is that strange, mysterious force that lets magnets push and pull on each other. And yes, it's what's keeping that grocery list stuck to your fridge.
This one is just so cool to actually feel. If you can get your hands on two magnets, try to bring their ends, their poles together. If you bring two of the same poles together, like two norths, you'll feel them push apart. It's this undeniable, invisible cushion between them. But then, flip one of them around so you have opposite poles, and they'll snap together. It's this incredible dance of push and pull, all from a force you can't see.
So, from the friction that lets us walk to the gravity that holds our world together, we've seen and hopefully felt how these basic forces really do shape everything. Let's just wrap this all up and look at the big picture.
So, what's the bottom line here? First, forces are just pushes and pulls. That's it. Second, they come in two main types. The direct ones that have to touch, like friction, and the indirect ones that act across space, like gravity. And maybe the coolest part? Even the invisible forces can be observed and understood with some pretty simple experiments you can do at home. So, as you go about the rest of your day, I want you to look for the forces. Notice the gravity holding you in your chair, the friction between your shoes and the floor, maybe even the magnetism that makes your speakers work. Our world is just humming with these invisible forces.
So what other unseen forces do you think are shaping your life right this second?